As a pastor, Kim and I had the joy of seeing many of the young couples that we served experience the joy of childbirth. And to be able to see them bring their children home and start raising them just filled our hearts with excitement about someday being parents ourselves. We also saw couples who went through the pain of infertility, and we were able to pray with them and counsel them and help them go through that process, and saw some of them adopt children and bring those children into their home. Little did we know that there'd be a day when we ourselves would find out that we would not be able to have a child. People were actually surprised that I wanted to be a father. A lot of people thought it really didn't matter to me. I guess they had watched me through our process of infertility and thought it mattered to Kim, but not necessarily to me. But they didn't really realize how I was grieving personally in my desire to be a father. But out of my love for my wife, I didn't really show it. I had a college student come to me who was facing a crisis pregnancy, and she had been advised to come see me as a local pastor by one of the advisors at her college. I had the opportunity to recommend her to Salem Pregnancy Care Center. She found the help that she needed there, and they really instilled hope into her. She was able to get guidance and advice and was able to make some very important decisions, and ultimately she made the decision to have her child adopted.
About 6 months later, the phone rang, and it was the young lady that Ken had referred to Salem Pregnancy. She asked if she could come to our home and meet with us. And so that afternoon she came in and sat down and just shared her heart, shared that she had made an adoptive plan, and she said that after much prayer and consideration, she wanted to ask us if we would consider adopting her child. It was hard, honestly, to contain my joy inside. The years of not understanding why, of wishing, wanting, rejoicing with others. But you can rejoice with others and still hurt in your heart.
You know, I can't even begin to express or articulate the wonderful feeling that I felt when they walked into the room with Claire and handed her to Kim. And as I looked at her and saw Kim's joy and was experiencing my own joy, the excitement of knowing that I was going to be this little girl's father.
The joy was uncontainable. The tears flowed. And in that moment, it was God's complete, perfect will in my arms. He had not left us and abandoned us, but He had a plan for us the whole time. And we just had to be patient and watch and wait for His will. And it's been a joy to be a family, to be her mom and dad. I count it a privilege and an honor that we were chosen and asked, that God Himself brought our lives together for the best for this child. Our congregation rejoiced with us, and many of them considered her to be their child too, because they prayed. It's an answer to their prayers too. And she's brought joy to so many and touched so many lives.
Kim and I have always believed deeply in the sanctity of life. We believe that every child that's conceived is a gift from God. We're convinced that there's no such thing as an illegitimate child. There are only illegitimate relationships. But every child is a life that God has brought into this world. And for every one of those children, He has a great plan and a purpose for their life. And so we believe in the sanctity of life. We want every mother to know that there's the opportunity to give life to her child, that there is help. And that's why our church has supported Salem Pregnancy Care Center.
I love my husband, but outside of my salvation, it's the greatest thing that God has ever done for me. It's a miracle. And just to get to experience that love and experience just the everydayness of life. The child makes you see things differently, and exploring and growing and learning through her eyes is a privilege I never thought I would get to have. But the Lord graciously gave it to me.
I'm just so grateful for this precious gift of life that God has given to me in order for me to be her father, and I'm grateful for the mother who made the choice to allow me to be her dad. Because of the counseling she received at Salem Pregnancy Care Center, she decided to change her major to counseling. She's now completed her undergraduate degree and is now working on a master's degree in counseling, and her intentions are to go back to her native country and provide crisis pregnancy counseling there.
It's just a reminder that God doesn't forget us. He has our best in mind, and that sometimes it just requires patience and waiting on His will and following what He has for us.